Thank you. You're welcome to another episode of Statement with Adiola. Today, we'll be discussing about the issue of COVID-19, and as you know that we'll be resuming to work. So part of our presentation for this time is on safety guidelines for COVID-19 for workplace resumption. As you all know, we are in the era of this pandemic, and a lot of safety procedures need to be put in place in order to ensure safety of our workers, safety of employers, and safety of our visitors who come to our workplace. I'll be going on into giving us introduction and overview of this presentation. In this presentation, we'll be discussing about the issue of this pandemic. As we all know, since this thing started, every organization has been on standstill. Every business has been on standstill. And the urgent need for every organization to address this global issue can't be underestimated. This presentation will contain guidelines to be followed in our workplace on resumption of work activities. What are those things to put in place to avoid the spread of COVID-19 in our workplace? This guideline will also establish the existence of COVID-19, that there's COVID-19 in this era, and also give us preventive, corrective, and emergency procedures for this COVID-19. And be aware of people that might be particularly at risk, such as the old that are up to 60 and above, such as the vulnerables, and such as those who have chronic underlying diseases, and those who are also pregnant. The consequences of a COVID detection in the workplace will not only be cost effective. As we all know, once there's an issue of COVID in the organization, automatically it puts your organization on a complete shutdown, which means that there will be loss of staff, there will be loss of morale, there will be loss of even production in the company, which will lead to millions of dollars being at loss. And we also have bad reputation, as people will be scared of working with your company because it has been detected to have COVID-19, and it will bring a bad reputation in the organization. And that is why we need to listen to the presentation on those things to put in place. After my video, if you need a presentation on how to go about this, you can as well put it in your comment section so that we can communicate on how to get this across to you free of charge. I want to give us a background introduction to what COVID really means. COVID has been declared a pandemic in March 11, 2020, and it has been declared as a major cause of sickness and death in the whole world. Since then, everyone needs to play a significant role to make sure that this virus does not spread beyond imagination, and we counter and we win this virus. Currently, we know that the incubation period is between 2 to 14 days, which means that if someone is detected to have COVID in your organization, within that 14 days, your company will be shut down. If another person is being detected on the 14th day, and another 14 days, there's a continuous shutdown, which means that it's a bad consequence that we do not desire for it to happen. However, it also means that if someone was detected but not confirmed COVID, the organization can start work. But even losing a day or 2 or 3 because of a minor guesswork or a minor suspected case is not really a desirable effect. So we need to listen to this presentation very well. We know the symptoms of COVID-19. Number 1, the major flu symptoms such as dry cough, sore throat, difficulty in breathing, tiredness, and also fever. We have a lot of them. How does this thing spread? There are 2 major ways in which it spreads. Infection can be spread to people who are nearby within 2 meters, such that droplets could be inhaled into the lungs. And you know, when it gets into the lungs, it damages the internal respiratory system, including the lungs. It is also possible that you can be infected by getting in contact with someone who is affected gets in contact with. Maybe someone places hand there and there's the virus there, and you mistakenly place your hand there, or someone sneezed and the virus is there and you place your hand there. If you get in contact with any object, any surface, or the hand of someone that's infected, you will also get this COVID-19. Now, part of those things we need to do when we get to our workplace is to what? Is to establish a preparedness and response plan to this COVID issue. The management needs to sit down with the safety expert to prepare a robust preparedness and response plan to attack the issue of COVID-19. What will this plan do to us? Number 1, the plan will help prepare your organization for the possibility of an outbreak of COVID-19 in its workplace or community. It may also be valid for other health emergencies. You can use it for other health emergencies. Secondly, the plan should also address how to keep your business running, even if a significant number of workers, contractors, and suppliers cannot come to your workplace of work due either due to local restriction or travel or because they are ill. What we are saying here is that the plan that your company should give should not only address the issue of COVID, but it should also address the issue of making sure that your company continues to run even when there are cases where your workers should not come to work. What are those plans to be put in place to make sure that your company continues to run? That is part of what that plan that you should have should contain. Also, the plan should also address sick leave arrangements. In case of there's someone who has a mere sickness, maybe flu-like symptoms or fever, there should be a review of our sick leave, not only the usual 20 months or 20 days in a month, or sickness that must be serious before you can have a sick leave. There must be sick leave for even someone that has fever, because you might not know, maybe it's a symptom of COVID-19. And mental health issues too, because this mental health issue is very important, because as we are resuming back to work, people now have different behaviors. Some people might have been some family might have been affected, and you get that person whose son or whose daughter or whose dad died or got infected with COVID-19 should be the same person. There would be a kind of change of behavior in the workplace due to the issue of some people, their salary got reduced. So this change in behavior will affect their behavior in the workplace. We reduce the morale, and some will work with fear. So you need to address this in the emergency response, in the preparedness and response plans, and the social consequences of a case of COVID in your workplace. Another point is the workers and their representatives as well as contractors should be informed about the plan and make sure that they are aware of what to do and what not to do under the plan. You should not create a plan for planning sake. You should not do it for documentation sake, for paper sake. It should be processed, and the information to pass through the workers from the top management to the smallest person in the organization. It should go, and everybody should understand what the plan is all about. The plan should also emphasize key points such as the importance of staying at home from work, even if you have a mild symptom, like I said in the other time. Now, what are the preventive measures for COVID-19? What are the responsibilities of the employer? The employer should display signages that encourage people to staying at home is very, very important at this point. It should encourage the symptoms that people should stay at home whenever they have symptoms of what? Of COVID, such as when sick, cough and sneezing etiquette. Cough and sickness etiquette and hand hygiene should also be encouraged in your signages. You should also put your signages that they should know how to sneeze properly, sneeze on their elbow and not sneeze on their hand, and normal hand hygiene at every interval. Provision of tissues and waste bin lined with a plastic bag so that they can be emptied without contacting the content. These are the things that the employer should do. They should provide tissues and waste bin that can be used to clean up and be put in a place that it cannot be accessed except from those that are responsible, and it should be tied properly inside if it's a nylon, it should be tied properly and properly disposed at designated disposal areas. Advise workers to clean their hands frequently using soap and water for at least 20 seconds, and also the normal alcohol sanitizer that we use. Part of the responsibility is to ensure the provision of water and soap and alcohol-based hand rubs. You should not only tell them to use it, you should also give it and provide it for them. Ensure routine environmental cleaning and consider additional measures as described later in this presentation. In this presentation, later on, we will discuss about what this environmental cleaning really means. You should also enlighten the workers, the contractors and customers that anyone with any mild symptoms, no fever, should always stay at home, like I said. And even if you are taking medication that cannot show the effect, like maybe you are on medication that you are using ibuprofen, you are using aspirin, this kind of drugs will not make the symptoms to show. So if you are using those drugs, you should please stay at home, because you might have that COVID-19. And lastly, part of the preventive measure is that the employer should give permission to workers who develop these symptoms to go home immediately and contact the public health service, like we have in Nigeria, the NCDC. If there is any reason to suspect that they have been caught with COVID-19, they should follow the procedures that we discuss in our emergency response procedure. That one is another presentation. We are going to discuss about emergency response procedure in our next presentation. Now, what is routine environmental cleaning? Like I explained the other time. When we're talking about routine environmental cleaning, routinely cleaning all frequently touched surfaces. That is a place that is frequently being touched, like going to the toilet, the hand basin, places that are of common use in the workplace. There should be frequent cleaning of these places, such as the workstation, the countertop, the door handles. Even we will discourage the use of handles. Instead of using handles, why can't you automate your doors so that by the time someone gets closer to it, it detects the shadow and it opens instead of the use of hand, so that it will reduce the issue of contact. Use of cleaning agents that are usually used in the workplace is advised. Provide disposable wipes so that commonly used surfaces like I mentioned, the keyboards can be wiped off. Someone is using this system, another person can come to use it, and there's contact. So these are the ways that we can counter this virus, as simple as it might look. So there will be constant cleaning of what? Of every commonly used surfaces. Guidance on nose masks and face masks. The common use of face masks, the proper use of face masks, or the required nose mask must be mandatory for all. At all points, there must be use of nose mask and face mask, nose mask at all points in the workplace. It should also be used at client premises, even when your worker goes out to visit a client or to visit a customer. They should always use this nose mask, because when they go out, they come back to the organization. So there must be procedure and safety procedure for all these things to be established. And at delivery point, or when, sorry, I have to adjust my glass and I'm trying to avoid touching my nose. Or when using public transport systems, there should be proper use of all these things at all times. However, face mask should not only be considered as a complementary measure. It should only be considered as a complementary. Listen to this. It should be only be as a complementary measure and not a replacement for the procedures, the preventive practices that you have been. What it means is that don't say because you're not using nose mask, you're using hand glove, then that is the safety measure. No, it should only be to complement the established procedure. Like we have in our hierarchy of safety control, like PPE is the last resort. Same thing applies to this. The best way to reduce any risk of infection is good hygiene and avoiding direct contact with any potentially infected person. Everybody is a potentially infected person. Any worker who deals with members of the public from behind the scenes should be protected from airborne particles. Now, in our next presentation, we'll be talking about we having other presentations. Number one, we're talking about breakdown of safety procedures across workforce journey. That is, we'll be breaking down the workforce journey from preemptive stage, when they are at home, when they are at work, when they are at common places within the organization, from their home right to when they leave the organization and back to the work. We will break down into pieces and we'll put at each stage there will be each very measure that we are going to address in our next presentation. Also, we'll be talking about safety guidelines on emergency response. What are those things to do at emergency cases of COVID-19? Another one is safety guidelines for school resumption. As we know, our teachers, our schools will resume, and there must be safety guidelines for what? For the students, for the schools to know what to do when there is resumption in case of for this issue of COVID-19, and also for our site, our construction site. And another presentation is we'll be talking about other airborne diseases that are not COVID-19, because in the construction site we have various ones: tuberculosis, measles. We have a lot of other airborne diseases that are around the organization, that are around everywhere, that we need to address. And there are some other airborne diseases that are being generated from the work activity. So all these ones will be broken down, we discuss it. And finally, we'll be discussing on safety advice on traveling and going to meetings. What are those things to put in place when you are traveling and when you are going to meetings? Thanks for watching this video and this episode of Statement with Aliola. To enjoy our videos, all our safety talks, please kindly visit this our YouTube channel and go to our YouTube at Safety World and our Instagram page at Safety World to enjoy. And remember to always subscribe and join us subscribe on our YouTube channel and join us on our Instagram, so that we continue to live a safe and understand and enlighten ourselves about our safety. Thank you and God bless you all.